What's going on, everybody? This is Real Deal Sports. The usual guys are here, but we got a coach today. We interviewing Miss Special Jennings, head basketball coach at Montverde. Did I say that right,
Montverde,
coach?
Montverde, but
Mount
close.
Verde. Okay, all right. I'm glad. See, I tried though, so it all worked.
You're
But we
pretty close. Montverde Academy.
okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. We got Big John here, brother Walt, and Big John. How are you gentlemen doing this fine morning?
I'm good. I'm excited, man. This is awesome.
Excited too, man. This is
Oh,
First
yeah.
guest.
our
First
first
guest.
guest,
Yeah.
man.
This is
First guest.
Yeah, first of many,
Yeah.
man. First of many. We working on it. It's coach today, and hopefully Stephen A next week. We just gonna climb that ladder quick.
I'm
So,
good. I'm good with this one.
hey, me too. Me too. You always got to start somewhere.
He ain't
John was
won
like, no.
nothing. He ain't won nothing yet.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
You're
just
right.
like
You're very
coaching and
right.
Stephen A.
Yeah, coach got a ring, and I don't know about Stephen A. But we'll have to ask him that at a later date and time. So, coach, we got a couple questions for you. Whoever want to start first. What you got, John, Walt? Y'all got one?
I watched your documentary. That I gotta say, dope. I now again, I'm super easy, so I don't count. But I cry all the time, so I don't count. But like in it, you several times you're like, I'm a coach. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. Like, was there a moment before you were ever a coach? Because obviously you were a player, played at Xavier and stuff like that. Like, was there a moment before you coach, like you knew you were a coach, like you knew, like, man, I can do this, like I can do that. I know all the X's, the O's, and all that stuff. Like, was there a moment for you like that, or you just, you know?
Yeah, I mean, probably when I was playing at Xavier, probably my junior year, I knew that at some point, once I was done playing, that I would coach. I was just, like you said, a floor general, so pretty much the extension of a coach on the floor as a point guard, and so it's just something that was like my niche. It came kind of relatively easy from a knowing and understanding the game perspective from having to play that position. I knew probably my junior year of college that I would coach at some point.
It's really awesome.
Go ahead, Walt. You got anything?
Now I just got a little simple question for you. It might you can call it corny if you want to. Now, before your games, was it like a specific song that you would like to listen to before your games?
No, not really. I mean, everybody got their playlist of, you know what I'm saying, you playing whatever's in the mood. I mean, you got a playlist and you put it on shuffle. Couldn't go wrong with, any of the things that I was listening to back then, Wayne, Gucci, different things that kind of just turn my mindset up. So, but yeah, not anything. Not I wouldn't listen to a repetitive song. No,
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
because
what we all grew up on, right? Was Wayne.
pretty much you ain't
yeah,
lying. Wayne
that was
Wayne been
Wayne.
out
Wayne,
there.
but Wayne before the syrup. Wayne before the lean and all
Agreed.
that.
Agreed.
You got a
That
point,
Wayne,
coach. Yeah,
Agreed.
you got yeah. When his
the
dreads didn't look like
Carters.
you do
No,
now.
that
Yeah.
that Wayne. Yeah, the
There you
Carter,
go.
the
All the
Carter Wayne.
mixtapes. All the
Yeah,
mixtapes for sure.
yeah.
So
Go ahead, Nico.
back to what John was asking about you being a floor general. Did you get into coaching at Xavier before you left, or how did you get start your ranks in coaching?
I didn't start coaching basketball until I retired playing professionally.
Okay.
But the way that I got into coaching was actually a coach that was a coach at Xavier, who was a head coach at the moment at Wright State. Was
Mhm.
really good friends with the head coach that was at Xavier when I was there. I kind of reached out to my head coach and told him I wanted to get into coaching, and he reached out to a few people, and it just so happened that there was an opening at Wright State University, and that's where I started out at. But I ended up playing professionally for about 3 years prior to me getting into coaching.
All right. Thank you, coach. And John, you got
Hmm.
anything? Well,
Yeah, bro, I got. I'm not sure I got a lot if you want.
Got a
go
lot.
ahead, man.
Want to pick
Go
the coaches?
ahead.
No,
Right, get him out while we got her. Go
you
ahead.
played. You played 4 years at Xavier, right?
I did.
Yeah, and like if you read your bio at Xavier, like it heavily talks about, obviously 3-point shooting and all that stuff, but like it emphasizes that you're a top 5 free throw shooter all time at Xavier. So I gotta ask, Is that something you take pride in, your free throw shooting? And if so, do you think that the NBA doesn't, like, NBA players aren't taking them seriously enough?
Yeah, I mean, you learn at a young age that
And
you
when I
know.
say NBA, I mean NBA and WNBA. If you
Yeah,
when
I
I
was gonna
talk
say
NBA, that's
WNBA has, you don't see really in the WNBA women shooting air balls. That's just what it is. You see a lot of airballing in the NBA for whatever reason. But I think that, yeah, at a young age, you learn that free throws, you concentrate, it's free money, free this. Everybody says that. But, I think it's just, if you're a shooter, that's part of being a shooter. That's part of your routine. I'm going through a drill. I knock down so many shots. Boom, I go shoot free throws while I'm tired. I jump back into doing something different. I go shoot free throws while I'm tired. But I mean, the free throw thing is great. I mean, I'm top three in assists at Xavier, and so I take more pride in that because I think that right there says that I was a team player. As opposed to it being about me. At Xavier, we won. Went to the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row. We went to an NCAA Elite Eight. We won the conference championship 3 years straight. We were regular season championships every year I was at Xavier, 4 years. So I'm part of the winning this program and winning this team in program history. So there's a lot of history there. But the thing that the assist really, really was big because I played with a lot of All Americans. And we were really good. We were top three my last 2 years. We were top 25 every year I played, and so it's just been, it's a great accolade to have. And I mess with some of my teammates all the time that did, you know, continued on and playing the WNBA. Amber Harris ended up winning a WNBA championship, but I tell her all the time, half your buckets is mine. You know what I mean? So, and we laugh and joke about it, but yeah, half your buckets are mine.
Right.
yeah. Because
I take big pride in that for sure.
now
Yeah,
well,
of
I'll say you're
course.
from Cleveland too. Actually, I'll say because obviously Walt's from Cleveland. You're from Cleveland too. I believe that George Hill is just as responsible for losing that game one of the finals that J.R. Smith is. Because if George Hill hits that free throw, we never have the J.R. blunder. That's what I'm saying. That's how high I put free throws, and I feel like
So,
no one else takes them that seriously.
but see, you can't say that though because LeBron missed free throws early on in the game, and so did everybody else. So if you were counting for one missed shot, then what about all the other shot attempts that was missed? What
I
about all the
agree, and
defense
that's what I'm saying.
assignments? Yeah, what about all the defensive assignments that were blown? The
That's a coach
non-box outs, the
answer.
rebounds.
It
Yeah, so
definitely is.
there's
but
not
they're
there's
called
not
but they're
one
called
it's
free.
not one
They're called
thing that
free.
caused them.
No, I'm with you on
Yeah,
that. I just say I think there's
in
not
the
enough
event
emphasis on the
in the
free
event
throws.
that you miss the free throw, what about getting a stop on defense or a rebound or there's a lot of things that playing that's just as free.
Right.
I
Put
agree.
yourself in the right
Very
position.
true.
But
I
George
agree.
George Hill didn't lose that game, man. It was a lot
No,
of
but
things that lost that
neither
game.
did Jr. That was my one
Jr.
thing.
did lose that game, man. I don't care. I'm sticking to it, man. Jr. lost at that game,
I'm
man.
not gonna say he lost the game, but dude he was nutty. I don't know what. I don't know what.
He was in space. Look, he was at where
I
Nico at
don't
right now. He in
know
space, man.
what was going
Oh, hold
on.
on,
Like
chill, cuz I'm in the
I meant
metaverse.
that with
Stop
the
playing.
background, bro.
Stop playing.
Relax.
I'm in the
you
metaverse.
come
Stop playing.
you come out of a timeout and do that. That's just even
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
that's
Facts.
just weird. You
Facts.
had to
You
talk
just
about
not
it in the
aware.
timeout. Like yeah, like that just don't even make sense at that level.
True.
Do you have
Very true.
a favorite player that you pattern your game after? Like,
That I patent my game after.
or do you that you watch that you like, when
Yeah,
they're
when I
on?
started out, I would say hot sauce from N1. I
Mm,
used to,
Really.
man, the handle was crazy because I used to watch hot sauce. I grew up right across the street from a park. N1 was always at Zelma, Georgia, at Wood Hill. Um, and you just wanted to do that. You call it ball on a string. So I was able to, I had handles like quote unquote like a man, people would say. But and then obviously watching Allen Iverson. I'm
Mhm.
small. I've been small all my life. He's always been a smaller guard. So
Mhm.
those two really, really were great. Obviously Dawn Staley was great on the women's side. Um, Becky Hammond was pretty good. Sue Bird was pretty good. Then you
yeah,
had
Some great.
you had some hitters, but
All right, now look, Coach. I'm kind of jumping the gun here. I'm going to this year of the championship year. Now, I've seen that y'all started off 5-0, and then you lost one, and then went 5-0, went on a 5 game winning streak again. So throughout that time, did you think like this team could really win the championship this year?
Yeah, I knew when I put the team together we could win a championship.
Okay.
That was the point of putting the pieces together. But I mean, obviously in the season there's detours and there's bumps and bruises. The game that we lost against DeSoto early on was us learning each other. I didn't, I
Mhm.
had 6 new kids, 6 new players, trying to figure that chemistry out. I had a couple people that didn't play. We were dealing with injuries and things like that. But, DeSoto's a great team. They have a great coach. He's been doing it for a very long time. I just think that with us, once we really got our chemistry together, and played the way that I foreseen us playing, then, I thought that we had a chance in any game. It would be very hard to beat. But we needed those early losses to kind of get us to where, to turn that corner and get us, to where we need to be at a headspace and playing the way we need to play in April.
Was your
So,
school like were they a powerhouse before you got there, or that's their first championship too, right?
For the girls, yeah. I mean, the men has been a powerhouse for about the last 10 years. That Kevin and those guys have been here. They've had, NBA players, Joel Embiid, RJ Barry. RJ Barry, he was here yesterday. He's here all the time working out. D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, Kay Cunningham, Moses Moody, all those guys played here. And so they've been good for a very long time. The women had not been to that level as of yet. And just, fortunate enough within these last 2 years, this completed my second season this year of being able to get us to that national notoriety
To
and
get
that
there.
national level.
I was just about to get there too. I was just about to say, with this being your second year, like how much of
Yeah.
accomplishment of that, like how does I'm sure you take huge pride in that with this only being your second year.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go get the right people, the right fit. I had, like I said, I'd be a fool to say that, I did all of this. I had great kids that had great character, made great plays, and they bought into my vision, and the buy-in is what really matters. And once they realized that this is a place of business and standards, and
mhm.
everybody's to be held to that standard, and everybody got on the same page, and it was no turning back from that. I'm just a stepping stone to where they're headed. Coaching 6 years on a collegiate level and
Yeah.
being an associate head coach at the Division 1 level, I know the ins and outs of that level. I know the ins and out of recruiting, the ins and out of practice. In the end, fortunate enough to be a professional player, I know what it takes to get to that level. And a lot of my kids have aspirations of being a pro, and a lot of them will be pros. But the mentality, getting them to understand the mentality and the work ethic and what it takes to get to that level, that's the hard part at first. The grunt work, the damn, I don't like you. I don't like you either. But you ain't here for that. You here for me to challenge you and to push you.
I like that.
And
Mhm.
so once they got past that, it was like I said, no turning back.
That's dope.
Right.
That's
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome because eventually, right, you'll be able to rattle off all the names of the girls who come from your school
Oh, for
and
sure.
be able to say you coached them. That's pretty awesome. Like,
True.
man, that's gotta feel nice.
So, Coach, let me ask you this: with the rise of these NIL deals and things like that at the collegiate level, what is there anything you're telling your girls that are seniors or juniors going into their senior year, like, hey, don't take, like, watch out for these, or is it any advice you're giving them?
Man, it's a lot of advice because I'm like I feel two different ways about this. I feel like the NCAA is doing a disservice right now, and I say that because the setup is for the future, right? And
Hmm.
I think that in what world, no matter what field you're in what world do you step into a job? Because going to college it's a job. It is what it is. In what world do you step into a job and the first thing you do is get money?
True.
When you step into a job, there's you have to do a service, and
Hmm.
you have to be worth the money, right?
Right.
And I
absolutely.
think with now going into with the NIL and things like that with these kids and the recruiting process is the first question is what can you do for me and how much money am I getting and da 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 da. Da. And when
Hmm.
you get to campus, the first thing you do is you get a Pell Grant check. You get some type of money,
Hmm.
but they're getting this money and they have done no service, like
True.
no service. So in the real world, it doesn't work like that. When you get a job, no matter what it is, you got that 15, 30 days where you going, you got to do a service and then you get a check.
Mhm. Right.
So I just feel like we're doing these kids a disservice from that perspective. Now,
Mm.
on the flip side, I think that there are a lot of kids that are deserving because they come from a background where they don't have and they're working extremely hard and to get, to a level of understanding the value of a dollar and it's not about just the dollar and the dollar itself. It's more
Mhm.
about, okay, you're investing in me. I need to give you some type of return on your investment.
Mhm.
Those That's a different type of kid than the what can you do for me? What can you do for me? What can you do for me?
Right. Right.
So I just, man, it's up in the air. I tell my kids all the time there's gonna be Uncle Jojo, Auntie Ann, and everybody else that quote unquote to help you get there and all that.
Mhm.
And I had to learn this the hard way. You don't owe anybody anything. There's a lot of people I want to take care of my family. Why? Why? If I came and got you from struggling, then what was your family doing for you? So why do
Right.
you feel the need to have to take care of people that are able, may not be willing, but are
Right.
capable of getting out and earning an income and taking care of themselves? So
True.
I educate them on a lot of things and
Yeah.
just to, like I said, but the value of the dollar and not taking things for granted and not, you have to do a service. It's not about you and always about what can you do for me. But I mean, that's the world we live in. Shit, like I said, the NCAA then got these kids like to a level where the money at.
Right.
Well, shit, you don't even work hard. Ain't giving you nothing. Like it's got to be some like happy medium.
Right. I get it. It's real though.
That's right.
So, and if from a coaching perspective, if one of your players came to you and was like, "Hey, coach, they offering me 100,000 to go to Xavier, or they offering me 150 to go to Duke," what would be your advice to your players? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Mm-mm. Can y'all hear? I can't hear.
No,
No,
just having a quick little.
Mm-mm.
no.
You must have got a call.
Yeah, she probably got a call.
Oh, you might have to go out and come back.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
No.
Just go out and come back, coach.
just gonna come back. Yeah,
Yeah. Hey man, this interview,
it's
love
gonna
it.
go.
Because I mean, the thing is, she's talking from a
Coach,
real,
yeah,
yeah,
coach and players' perspective.
no, a modern coach perspective. Because a
Absolutely.
lot of these coaches, they'll tell you what you want to hear.
All right, absolutely, absolutely.
So
We got, we
that's
got,
what we can appreciate about it. You good now, coach?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
all right.
We can hear you. So, like the question I was asking before we had technical difficulties. If one of your players came to you, "Hey, coach, Xavier offered me 100,000, or Duke, North Carolina offering me 150," what would be your advice to them?
What's the best fit? What's the place you're gonna go and you're gonna be able to succeed not only as an athlete but as a student? Which place do you feel like you can go and have an immediate impact? Which
Mhm.
place do you feel like is gonna support you after the ball stops bouncing? I would say that it's not always about the money because the money is something that's tangible. You can
Mhm.
get money, you get you meet the right people, network in your circle. Da, 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 da. I can teach you how to get some money.
Right.
That's a tangible thing. But people, you place your what I'm saying, you place your respect and things like that in people. And so you may cross a bridge later on in life that you necessarily can't get across yourself, and you need somebody to help you
Right.
across that bridge.
Mhm.
Which school has people that can do that?
Right.
Who has a
That's
track
good.
record of still being in touch with their players?
That's
Who
good.
has a track record of still being in? Those are the things that you should be looking for. If you got a hustle, if you got a hustler's mentality, if you have any type of hustle to you, you always get some money.
Right. I love it.
You
That's
now you
great.
recruit too, right? You do recruit your students, or are you not part of that?
I wouldn't use the word recruit, but I enlighten people on Montverde Academy.
Okay. So, because I'm just like one of the problems you find with like a lot of teams and stuff is you can see talent, but you can't really see someone's work ethic. Now again, I'm just saying that I want to know, like, can you tell someone has a harder work ethic than someone else, right? Because we just saw like Devonte Adams talking about how he's upset he was drafted after Kelvin Benjamin. He always thought he was going to be a Panther. Uh, Giannis, right? Giannis was a skinny kid coming in, Jabari Parker, Chris Middleton. Like they had a bunch of names. They were just drafting everybody. They didn't know who was going to be the guy, and Giannis became the guy, right? Is there a
Yeah,
way that you can like watch a player and tell, like, just from a couple meetings and stuff, like this person has a work ethic that
yeah.
I'm going to, not just talent?
Right.
Absolutely. I think, so since you use Giannis, I'll use that as an example. If you go back to watch Giannis even when he was a young pup, he's always had a motor and a work ethic. You can add the skill component. There's a lot of very talented players out here that has no motor, have no work ethic, and don't want to do anything outside of the norm, which is for them. If you're a scorer, I don't want to do anything but score. I don't want to play
Mm-hmm.
no D. I don't want to. But so for me, I'm so confident in my abilities as a player developer that I can teach you the skill stuff. The energy, effort, intensity, that's a you thing. That's a player controls that themselves. That's not something that can be taught. That's something that they have to come with. And so when you get a player that has a super high motor, I'm ecstatic to find players that have that type of motor because they're rare. Um, and like I said, once you put that motor with the skill,
Mm-hmm.
you get a Giannis, a Greek freak.
Mm-hmm.
You get a player like that. It's just unreal. So
Right.
you can always spot it out. But you got a lot of coaches that sweep stuff under the rug and they see the red flags and ignore it because you got a good player and they care more about the rankings, the accolades, and those things as opposed to a kid that can come in and diminish your coach or your program or kill the chemistry of your team, based off of them. But you got a lot of coaches that'll sell their right arm for some rankings, and I'm just not one of them,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like. Go ahead, Walt.
All right, well, I'm going back, to the championship run again. My fault. I'm sorry. I just
Hey,
it's just that
hey.
record. She's killing it, 20-3,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I mean, that's
100%.
just that's killing it. Okay, so I hope I'm not bombing her name, like bombing her name, but Janiyah Barker, with her
yeah,
being your leading scorer and rebounder, and I think she's a
Janiyah
senior.
Barker.
Janiyah Barker, with her being your
Yep.
senior this year and leaving, is there anybody on the current roster do you think that's going to possibly step up to get you guys back to the championship next year?
Man, Walt, the goal is to reload and repeat. We don't, program isn't built on one person. And so
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, Janiyah is phenomenal. I love that kid to death. I think she'll probably be, if not number one, top three draft pick when it's time for her to come out. She just has a skill set that's just unreal, and she's a phenomenal player. But at the end of the day, you know, that's not why we won a championship. We won a championship because I had Janiyah Barker, Jordana Cordilla, Corey Allen, Miracle Shepard, Rustin Augustine, Vivian. Which I have a whole roster of kids that can play. And so, you know, her graduating, obviously it shifts the way that the team looks. Um, but the fill-ins, the people that decided to jump on the boat, we gonna sell, and I believe we can sell just as far.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer I wanted to hear, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I wanted to hear.
So, Coach, with a championship team like that, what were them five on fives like in practice?
Oh man, well, as you can imagine, it's almost like you got players that they're competitors.
Yeah.
They compete, and it's heated. It's heated. It's been some of them if there's been tears, there's been almost fisticuffs, there's been but they're sisters,
Right.
man, love each other. They'll run through a wall, but at the end of the day, it's almost like it doesn't matter. When you're on the opposite team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my jersey color is white and your jersey color is red. At that moment, I'm over here with white.
Mm-hmm.
They care about what red got going on. And in our practices, our kids are like that. They're just competitors. They want to win.
Yeah.
And whether it's whatever team you're on, like you gonna compete.
Right.
I tell people all the time, God rest my grandmother's soul, but if my granny was alive and she challenge me, I'd beat her 100 to nothing, and I'd knock her over and run her over. And just because, I mean, you out there, at
Right.
that point, you are out there, and that's what I tell
Right.
my kids. I don't care about seniors and freshmen and who is older and this and that. Not you're out here. This is big girl basketball, and
Right.
so you are to compete, and whatever that looks like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because I don't think people realize that, like, yeah, these are the starting five, but, number 6 to 15 makes this starting five who they are,
Yeah,
going
but
out of
our situation is different though. Our
the
starting five, respectfully, every kid on my team would start on another team in the country.
hmm
Like it's just I can only play five at one time. And
Right.
so it's not like I can any of these kids can start. Any
hmm
one of them, any given day, um, but it just was some people gave, as a coach, you got to look at starting the game, and then what's your energy, your spark off the bench, and then who's taking you home? What's that home stretch? That defensive group that that okay, we're in the hole, we need some offense. That offensive group. It's a lot of things that go into picking who's on for me,
Right.
into picking who's on the court and at what time, because that's also crucial.
Yeah.
But
100%.
these kids, respectfully, I got kids that'll start. If they leave Montverde Academy, they'll start anywhere else they go.
I love it. I love it. You guys got anything else?
I mean, I can keep talking, but
Go ahead.
I'll let it.
Really? You
Yeah, I
can
know
say
I
before
we
know.
we
can't really hold
wrap?
her up too much time. I know, Coach.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm excited to have you back eventually. I definitely want you back. As we always say on this show, I'm thankful for the people who watch.
Mhm.
It's actually been, and I say this all the time, it's been 3 months to the day now since Brittany Griner's been in prison. So we always keep
Man,
her in our prayers. And
Yeah.
I love that it's changing the game, man. I was talking to an NBA player a couple months ago, and I said that it's been probably 4, 5, 6 months now. I don't even know, but I was telling him like you got to be watching Kalia Copper. You got to be watching Kalia Copper. And he called me the other day and he said, "Man, I have my boys watch her game." And I think that's like a huge step to like how far we've gone is like now like NBA players, I mean, are having their kids watch the women's too to learn the game and not just, whatever. And so I appreciate it. I love the game. And I love when to see people win, man. I like I said, I love your documentary. By the
thank you.
way, I will say at the and I noticed all the little things. So sorry, maybe I shouldn't bring this up, but like at the 305 mark, y'all got pumped in the locker, and one of your girls like threw a punch and hit the other one in the stomach, and she like goes over. And I was like, hey man, the editor got to fix that. You got But no, I love those moments, man. I love those moments. So
Yeah, we just real raw and authentic, man. What you see is what you gonna get for us. And
yeah,
like I said, it ain't no faking the funk around here. Those kids love each other. There's some of them at graduation, they were crying, and things like that. So, and it's not a goodbye. It's to see you later. And the seniors must move on, and they'll be great role models and great coming back this year and speaking to the ones that's headed out next year. And so, yeah, man, we appreciate you watching. I appreciate y'all having me on, and
Yeah.
hopefully I was able to drop a
Oh
few
yeah.
gems.
Hey,
yeah.
Coach, I got one more question before we
Go
go.
ahead.
If you was the point guard right now at Xavier, how would you approach the NIL, or how would you go about it?
You know what? I think Xavier still owe me some money. I had a bobblehead when I was there. I had a billboard. I had backpacks. I had shoot. Look, Xavier owed me all kind of money if we being clear. But I think that if I had it to do over, I mean, I would have loved to have been in a time with the NIL. First of all, my name is very marketable.
Yeah.
Everybody market my name when I was at Xavier. Special Jennings, special delivery,
Yeah.
special this. So I would definitely market my name and just as a player being great and figure out my niche on something. But yeah, I would have told Xavier up with the NIL. I'd have got
all
right
right,
to it. I ain't gonna hold you. I'd have got right to it.
all right, Coach. One more question before we go. This off topic though. NBA Finals. So who you got winning?
Boston.
Boston.
I say the same thing, Coach.
Boston.
I've been
I say
telling you.
Boston because just when you look at complete both sides of the ball, I think Boston.
Okay. Okay.
What you think?
We'll see though.
What
That's
you
just
think
I
about
mean,
the West? Who you think coming out the West, and
the
why?
West. Ooh, I think I don't know, man. It might be the Warriors, but that Luca is. I mean, he
All right.
laughing at people. He
John do not like Luca.
Hey, I've been
I don't say
coach,
I didn't like
coach,
him. I
coach.
just
We've been trying to tell John. I've been trying to tell John for like the last 2-3 playoff series. John, you gotta give Luca his respect, man. And he
oh, you come on. Yeah,
he's
he's
won
doing
he's won
things
one
that's
playoff series in his life. He's won one
don't
playoff
matter.
series.
He's a dog,
there's
man.
a lot of there's a lot of players that haven't won none. That's almost like when
He,
people talk about how
coach,
good players is that's never been to the NCAA tournament. You good as hell, but you ain't never played against nobody.
coach.
That's like people that stack their
John.
roster and then they don't win. So
Thank
it's a
you,
lot of
coach.
His
if you take that team that he don't have a big three, he ain't a big four, he ain't none of that, and he's in the Western Conference championships.
Listen to
I'm
coach.
not
Listen to
disrespecting him.
Yeah,
I'm
put
coach.
some
just
Jennings.
respect
saying
on his
What
name.
you talking
I'm
about?
not disrespecting. I'm just saying I have him behind Jason Tatum and John Morant right now. I still got him third. So at the under 25.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't know if he behind Jason Tatum. Now,
Well, that's on my list.
Ja's a little different. I don't know if he behind Tatum though. Like,
Tatum,
Let
he
him
on
know,
the right
coach.
now.
That's all I've been trying to do.
yeah, I don't
You
think
know,
he's behind Jason Tatum. I think he's the man. Luka's just a different type of. I mean, I think if you look at the series right and watch what people do, anytime that people are rough and bully Jason Tatum, he's just now getting used to being double teamed and things like that. Luka got the. He got a Dirk Nowitzki slash like he just a different type of he
Nah,
different.
he's an unathletic James Harden. That's all he
would
is.
you
Let's
stop,
stop.
dude? Get
James
the ball in
Harden.
the hole.
Let's
You called
stop,
him?
man.
Did you call him James Harden?
We
He's
did.
Oh my
he's
God, I'm getting off.
did.
he's an unathletic James Harden. That's
We
what
did.
he is.
How is he
Oh,
better than
me.
James Harden? Then
Look, right.
So what?
why is he better than James Harden? Is he if he's basically you basically just called him a knockoff version of
Well,
James
I
Harden.
will say I will say not the current James Harden. No, I'm talking about
Even the old James Harden.
Yeah, you know that James
Luka
Harden
don't
better.
dribble.
That James
Luka don't
Harden was
dribble the
better.
ball. Luka don't dribble the ball 50 times to get a shot off. No, we're not gonna do that.
Let him know,
That's
coach.
because he
Luka don't
turns
do
you
that.
over.
Hey,
Coach.
Coach
He's
watching
the new
too,
turnover
man.
king.
Coach
Right,
watching too.
coach. We gotta have you
What
back.
watching? Where is
He's
he watching? What are you
he's the
talking
new
about?
turnover king. And by the way, Jason Tatum plays defense. Last I checked.
Oh no, he didn't.
Last I checked, Jason Tatum is a foul waiting to happen. Like, what are we talking about? Like, he plays D when he's
Yeah,
a
at least he
light
plays
switch.
defense.
He plays. He's up and down. He's not like a consistent
John.
defender.
I'll say Luka is a top 5
But
offensive
coach-
player right now. He don't play basketball. He plays offense.
You
That's
can't
all I'm
argue with
saying.
Coach John.
If that's the case, then there's half of the NBA is only offense. Half of the
Yeah,
NBA
I'm with
don't
you on
play no
that.
D.
I'm with you on that.
What?
I'm with you on that one.
Coach, we gotta have you back because me and you, we here. I've been trying to tell him about that Luka boy.
Coach,
I definitely
I definitely appreciate you coming on today. I know you probably got to get up out of here. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us. We
Coach.
would
We
love to have you
appreciate
back if you can.
Yeah, anytime, man.
This has been Real Deal Sports. We appreciate everybody watching us. Like I said, this your boy Big Watt. My boy Nico Swab over there looking swabby in the mud.
Yeah, in the metaverse, baby.
I'll say, man, where are you?
My boy,
Don't worry about it. It's
We all think
God,
that he might be in witness protection. We're not sure.
I don't do that. I ain't running from nobody.
My
Chicago
boy
is dangerous enough.
My boy John, our hardest white boy I know. And hey, we appreciate y'all watching. Subscribe, comment, like. Hey, thank you for joining us again, Coach.
Hey, Coach, you gotta come down for a game. That's what we're gonna do. Real deal on the go. We're gonna come down for a game, Coach. We got to. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, run it back.
100%. And then she's gonna tell you more about Luka. But all right, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you all.